Hello, Assalamu alaikum everyone. I am just getting ready. Hello there.
Hello. Am I headless? Let me try doing that. There we are. Oh, no, it's not going to work, is it? 2 seconds. Technology.
Yeah.
There we are. I'll do. Good. Hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
I am good. I am very good. I've been looking forward to this conversation today. I think we're going to have a fun one.
Oh, you, Hamish. If you call this fun, I have my tissues. If you, yeah, this is going to be fun. Okay,
Yeah.
if you say so. Hamish,
Mm.
before we dive in, is it cold there?
Not today.
Because you're wearing a hoodie, right?
I love my hoodies. I will wear it
Oh,
summer and winter. I've got nothing underneath, just a hoodie on. So, but
oh,
yeah,
there we go.
I'm roasting hot actually. But yeah, that is fine.
Yeah, just looking at you, I'm feeling really hot because it's burning here.
Is it? Yeah. No, it's compared to you guys, it's midwinter for us. For you here, it's yeah.
Yeah,
It'll
yeah.
do. It'll
All
do.
right, all right. So,
Mm.
Hamish, how do I begin this topic? Like, I just don't know how to dive into it, Help me.
Okay. Okay. Who are you? Who are you, Movish?
Who am I?
Who are you? Yeah.
I'm a mom,
Okay.
therapist, a daughter, a friend, I guess, and many other things.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
Um, I'm a brother.
Yeah.
I'm a son. I was a photographer.
Mm.
I was a TV cameraman.
Wow.
I am a okay. Am I a podcast host or do I host a podcast? Beginning to play here a little bit. See if people know
Okay.
what we're talking about.
Good.
Yeah. So I am a podcast host. I'm a lover. I'm a friend. I am ADHD. I am all sorts of things. Well,
All right.
sort of. Yeah, kind of. But
Yeah.
I don't always think that I am those things. I think that I am, or they are part of me.
Right. So,
Mm.
Hamish, if we were to drop them off, all of the titles, the roles that you just said, right?
Mhm.
What is left?
Okay, I'm not a brother.
Yeah.
I'm not a son.
Yeah.
Not a photographer. Not a lover. Not a friend. The hole's getting bigger. The whole of what my identity was is getting bigger. Um, what is left? Without getting too meta, I would say what I feel, what I feel. I am. I mean, that sounds really naff, doesn't it? But I am. Me, Hamish is left. Hamish, love, how I interact with people, how I talk with people, how I react, respond to people, because none of those, they're not things. They're not a friend. They're not this or that. I think that's what's left. Um, only
Mm.
because I've done a lot of work on this, because my journey, I've had to disidentify with being a husband. I had to disidentify with all sorts of things through events in my life, which you and I have discussed before, and we'll probably hop onto them again.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I think without those things, I have to get really curious. Otherwise, I am identifying as a brother. So what does that mean? That means
Mm.
I should look after my brothers. I should protect them. I should do this. I should do this. I should do that because society has told me.
Yeah.
I should be a friend. I should be there for other people when they need me.
Yeah.
What if I don't want to? What if I'm on holiday? You know, am I a bad friend if I'm on holiday? Um, yeah, it's getting a bit deep, isn't it? I mean, what are you if you're not a mother? What are you if you're not a therapist? What happens?
So we've had this discussion, right, where I had my epiphany moment where I I was just sitting in just a moment, right, and I found myself reflecting that if today I drop the title of being a mother, being a daughter, being a friend, being a
Mm,
sister, you know, who am I?
mm,
And for me, it was scary. It got dark,
mm,
but it felt lighter, and it was weird, weirdly liberating, and it came with a freedom that felt very lonely, Hamish.
mm,
Like there was darkness there, and it felt like when I'm not a mom, when I'm not a daughter, when I'm not a friend, when I'm just me, then it was like I was meeting first time, you know,
mm.
like I was moving from my body inside and meeting my soul,
Okay.
for the
Mm,
first time.
mm-hmm. Wow.
And I never met that person. Who's this soul, who's this
Mm,
person? And it felt really dark, but it felt lighter.
mm,
I know they kind of contradict, but that's how I really did feel. Like I'm here, I'm meeting me for the first time,
mm.
but why is so lonely?
Let's explore that. Um,
Yeah.
why so lonely? I mean, I went to rehab in 2018 and I had to disidentify with a great deal of things. And
Yeah.
when I came out, because I was thinking about this, when I came out, I felt raw. I felt like I had all my skin washed off, and I felt it was
Mm.
baby soft. I felt that everything that I was had gone away, because I split up with my wife. I stopped being a photographer for a while. I stopped doing all sorts of things, and I had to concentrate purely on me because it was a dire situation. So I had to get rid
Yeah.
of everything, get rid of the mask, get rid of my identity, and the liberating bit you said, completely agree. It was a sign. This, there was that lightness. There was no heaviness of, yeah. If you go to AA, I'm an alcoholic. If unhappily married, I'm a divorcee. I'm this, I'm that. None of those things stuck because I didn't have the wealth is not quite right. I didn't have the bandwidth to be those things.
Yeah.
I really didn't have the energy to be all those things because I had to save my life.
Yeah.
Um, so that's not the same as what you were doing. I guess you had a dark night of the soul kind of moment where it's just like, I've still got my children. I love them. I am not solely a mum. I still work with people. I'm not solely a therapist.
Yeah.
But I had to go through similar, and disidentify with what I thought I was because I
Mm.
was, I divorced my wife, who, when I married her, was the most important thing in the world, and the shame in that. So I had to liberate these things to save my life, basically, because I was identifying with all sorts of unhealthy parts of me. Again, this is completely the opposite to what you've done, but you're stepping back from those roles, how people saw
Yeah.
you as, and I was doing the same thing. So in that way, it's the same.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it was. I had to for my sanity, and I guess what you're saying is you're looking at it, and are you doing it for your sanity because, or not? I mean, are you? Why did you start this process? What happened?
Well, I first of all, I get where you're coming from, right?
Mm,
Where you went to rehab and you were having a
mm,
bad match. I've been there, right? And when that happened, when I hit rock bottom and I left my husband and I came back, it was dark and lonely because I had to heal, right? And I had no language. How do you heal? Nobody taught us in this society that you can heal yourself. So it
mm,
was a very, again, a very, very lonely journey because you didn't have the language of what you needed. So you couldn't tell people what you need. But you
mm,
knew you needed something because
mm.
something was off. So
Yeah.
when I dropped that role that I don't want to be his wife, it just felt again like a void, like
Mm,
but was constantly being his wife, serving him and being this and that. Now I'm not doing that. Then who am I now? Because I had identified with that role so like it became a part of my identity. There was no
mm.
individual Mavish. There
Yeah.
was just the wife Mavish, right? And when
Mm,
I left him, now I had to detach because I'm not a wife. I'm just Mavish again, and
mhm,
it was very uncomfortable. So I
mm,
get when you say that, like I've been there before, and then I
mm,
did the healing, and that was a totally different and empowering journey, right? It was, I was reclaiming myself. I had
mhm,
lost myself, right?
mm,
And I was reclaiming myself. But now I'm not reclaiming myself where I'm at.
mhm.
I'm meeting myself. It's like I'm meeting me for the first time. And it's totally opposite to what we went through, right? Why are you
Mm.
laughing?
I'll get there in a minute. Just carry on. Sorry, I had a. I was going to ask you a question. I'll ask you in a minute. Mm,
Okay. So and you said what got me here? I don't know. I
mm,
was listening to this music, this emotional cello or CeeLo, I don't know how you even say it, and it just got intense and I had to stop listening, and then
mm,
I wrote my blog which I shared with you, right?
mhm,
And then it just led from that to one thing and the other and the other. And there I was a few days ago doing this, meeting me, and it's just been a lot of crying.
mm,
Feels like I never met me, and I abandoned me because I had to be a daughter. I abandoned me, I had to be a mother. I abandoned me, I had to be a wife. I abandoned me because I had to succeed in my career, which is all good. It's not that I don't love those roles,
mm,
right? Well,
mm.
not a wife one, but other than that, I would say. but,
Yeah.
but, you know,
Mm,
I got lost in it so much that I lost me. And now I'm meeting me. It's dark, it's liberating,
mm,
it's lonely, but it's freeing. So, like, you
mm.
know,
I love that. I love that. I was giggling because do you like who you're meeting? That was what I was going to ask you. Do you like this person who you're meeting?
yeah, that's not coming up if I like her or not. The
Hmm.
question is coming up, I've never met her.
Hmm.
That's why it's dark. It's like you've never, it's a house, it's your home, and there's this room you never entered. So now I'm entering that room and it's dark. So whether I like it or not, I'm not even there. It's
Hmm.
more about feeling sad
Hmm.
that I left her, that I never met her.
Yeah.
That's where the crying is coming, I guess, from, because I just left her.
Mm.
I just disconnected from her.
You found her now. You've got the rest of your life to dance with her and sing with
Yeah.
her and do all these. I'm deadly serious. I'm deadly serious. In the shamanic realm, I mean that is a soul retrieval. You found a piece of yourself that you abandoned because society told you to.
Yeah.
Society said, this is what a sister is. This is what a mother is. This is what a daughter is. Some people don't over identify with that role. Some people do. One of the guys on my podcast, he met his wife when they're in their late teens, and they were like that. They were two people, one person. They became one person, like you were saying. And when she died of cancer in her 40s, or maybe 50s, I'm not really sure. I never asked him. His world fell apart because he had to become him again, kind of what you're saying. And he had to find himself without that other person supporting him, almost half and half. Um,
Mm,
my sister doesn't over identify as a mum, but she consciously makes that decision. She loves her daughter, she loves my niece, but she
mm,
is not mum. She is herself first and mum second. Um, some people completely fall into that role. Mums fall into that role. Men fall into the role of I'm a businessman, and then they retire. It's just like, what the hell? Who am I? What am I? And a lot of
mm.
them get sick and die soon after they've retired because that
Yeah.
identity as, I am the man, I'm the provider, I'm the breadwinner, I've got this job, this is me, and this, well, I have no idea who I am. Um, and it must be terrifying. It must be
Mm,
really terrifying when you're in your 60s, 70s, and that happens. It's bad enough when I did in the 40s. Bad enough you doing this in your 40s. It's as you said, it's liberating, but it's dark because all those safety blankets are gone. You
mm,
know, the mum bit, the daughter bit. You are still all those. You still embody those, but you're no longer unhealthily identifying as that, maybe because society told you to. And it's like, no, I'm not just that. I'm me.
mm.
Um,
Yeah. I guess that's where the conflict is come because the liberating part is me, but the dark part is what society told me, the role that was given to me. And then the freeing part is I'm free now because I can be me,
mhm.
but I'm feeling lonely because society didn't give me that right. I'm reclaiming that right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that person who you abandoned, that person who you found again, will teach you things. Again, going back to shamanism, the abandoned soul piece, or the soul piece that leaves, pretty much. Let's role play a scenario. I did a shamanic work with somebody the other week, and she was 6 or 7. She was dancing in the rain, lovely long hair, lovely, lovely time. And her mum said, "Come inside, darling. You're going to get wet. You're going to get cold. Come on. What earth are you doing out there?" And the child went from beaming and happy to really sad. She didn't want to go in. And at
Mm,
that moment, I sensed the soul splitting. And so the young child went, "To you. I'm going to
mm,
carry on dancing. I'm going to dance. I'm going to play." So that was that separation. And then when we brought them back together again, that abandoned piece came back, and she is stronger for it. You'll be stronger for it as you get to know this piece of you that you abandoned. Society told you to. Whatever, doesn't matter the dynamics.
mm.
Something will change in you. You'll feel stronger. It's like breaking a fractal, like breaking a hologram. You've added a bit. There's a bit more clarity. I think
Yeah.
this. I think this. What you're doing. My understanding of it is like what we do as we get older and wiser. We start to find these pieces of us that we abandoned, and it is scary. It is really scary when you get to that point where you have to stop identifying as the photographer, as the lover, as the husband, as the wife, and start being yourself. But it's worth it. It's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, something that's coming up for me. We did discuss that, and I'm thinking about bringing it up. Having having these moments, it led me to something else, and we've talked about it. Was out of the many lies the world taught me, and I can only talk for myself in this space, and the conditioning that was passed on to me in this culture, in this society, was I heard this a lot. I don't know when I started hearing that, but I guess I was very young, that you come in this world alone and you die alone, right?
Mhm.
And and that kind of would make me really sad, like really sad when I would hear that. I was very young, right? Maybe in my teens, maybe younger than that. But let's say I was in my teens. And I would always have this feeling when I would hear that you're all alone in this world, actually. Because that's what people were referring to when they were saying, and they were saying in their moments of grief, of despair, of hitting rock bottom. Whenever I go back to when this person or when this dialogue I heard, it was
Mm.
never ha 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 moment. It was a moment when somebody was feeling really depressed, really like hopeless. And for me, I said, I don't believe that, Hamish. That's the
Mm.
biggest lie I've lived with. Because when I reflect back and I go back to my birth, I was alone in my mom's womb, right? That was my home. That's the only home I knew. I didn't have entertainment in there. Like there were no people or like a social media going on or a phone there. In the womb, it was dark and I was alone. I guess that's the loneliest place to be in. But when I came in this world, I wasn't alone. My mom helped me come in this world.
Mm.
If it wasn't for her going through that pain, I wouldn't be here.
Mm.
So she was helping me. I wasn't alone. And then, if I was lucky enough, my father was probably in that room waiting for me. And then there were doctors and nurses, people I don't even know, I'm not even connected to,
Mm.
waiting to receive me. And how did I meet this world that I was coming in for the first time? Right? I've never seen this world. This was going to be my first experience. And the emotions that I was energetically felt with
Mhm.
was love,
Yeah.
joy. She's here, yay, she's here, right? So it was like she's here, there was love, there was a lot of joy and happiness. So when I go back and I think I came alone, absolutely not.
Mm.
I came in this world with the most beautiful emotions. And for the most bit, most moms are happy in their motherhood, are happy in that moment.
Mhm.
And sometimes they are not happy, but when they have the baby, it's an overwhelm of love. Like they don't even know where that love is coming from, right?
Mm.
And you
Mm.
hold that child and you start crying because where is this love coming from? I don't know how to contain it. It's so much, right? So it kind of like cancels what I've been taught. I came alone in this world, right?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
then when I look at death, when somebody dies, especially if I take my culture, when a person dies, right, all his relatives come,
Mm.
right? Even his enemies come, right? And people who had abandoned him in his life,
Mm.
friends, relatives, even they come. And not only do they come, they stand by that body who's there and say the most beautiful things about this person. Oh, when we were in college, now these people had never met throughout life, they just were in college. They said the most profound, beautiful things about you,
Mm. Mhm.
right? And then you don't just walk alone to your grave, right? You are honored because you're carried to the grave. The world carries you.
Mm.
And then when you go in your grave, for us it's a different thing. We meet our Lord, we meet God and angels and stuff, and we transition, and that's totally
Mhm.
a different thing, right? But if you just keep it till here,
Mm.
you're not born alone. Don't believe that. And you don't die alone. And
Mm.
if you believe that, I think for me, even when I wasn't alone, I felt very lonely in life because that was so ingrained and wired in me. So now when I sit, and I've said that to you, Hamish, I have this support. When I look up, I have my people. I have
Mhm.
you, I have this friend, I have that friend, I have my children. So, like this, I'm not alone. I have real people, like real connections I'm grateful for. But, Hamish, I feel so lonely.
Mhm.
Why? And now I get it why.
Mhm.
It was that belief that you're alone,
Mhm.
you know. I mean, for me, that's how I joined the dots. It's just that wiring and that belief. And that even when you have people, you keep on thinking, no, you're alone in this, you're alone in this, you're alone in this.
Yeah.
But you're not. There's
No,
somebody there to experience. You're experiencing this. People over here in this live stream, they're experiencing us. So whatever we are saying, we are sharing, we are not alone.
no, definitely not. But, and I think
But
as you pointed out, you can choose to be.
what does that mean?
You can choose to be alone. You can feel so sorry for yourself, or despondent, or depressed, or full of shame, or that kind of thing.
Yeah,
You can choose that,
yeah.
um, and it is a choice to ask for help, to be with people. I live by myself. I go out for a walk, and I'll chat to people and their dogs. I might have two conversations some days, and it's with a dog, which is lovely. Much more fun chatting to a dog, but one or two people, and that's
Yeah.
great. That is my physical interaction with people, and that's lovely. Um,
Mm.
and there were times in my life I would stay at home. I wouldn't interact with people because of circumstance. Doesn't really matter. But I kept myself in that space. I've had to climb out. Like you, I've made that effort. And in making that effort, it's just like people are lovely. They
Mm.
are. They look out for you. People love their kids. People love their families. Most people are beautiful human beings. There's a few people who aren't. Most of them seem to run countries and governments, but that's another story. We won't go down there.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it is a choice. You chose to climb out of that situation. You chose to look at, why am I feeling lonely? I'm not lonely. You chose that, and that's what it comes down to. And I think the same as back to identifying, same as that. People choose to over-identify as the husband, as their job, as their role, as this. Which is why, joking at the beginning, I said I run a podcast, because I knew we were going down this route. Yeah. Yeah.
Hamish, I'm really curious because when you say uh, that we over identify with the role, it makes sense, right? But then for me the question is coming up, and correct me if I'm wrong, is that like your sister, she doesn't over identify being a mother, like she can be herself, right? Do you think that is also a way of compartmentalize? Oh my god, I can't say the
I
word.
can't say either.
But you get it right.
Mhm.
I'm just having
Mhm.
that thing where you put things in a box, right? This is this,
Car,
this is it.
yeah,
Compartmentalizing,
mentalizing that kind.
mentalizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Um, could be, could be. It could also be discernment. It could also be a little bit more awake. Um, have a little bit more capacity for. Think of Maslow's hierarchies of needs. Right at the
Yeah.
bottom, there's safety. If that's all you've got, that's all that matters. When you've got food in your belly, when you've got a nice house, when you've got resources, when you've got cash, you have that more mental capacity to, I don't have to identify with just that one thing. So maybe there's that. um I haven't really asked her why. I know she makes a choice not to fall into being a mum. I think because she's seen some of the, she was a little bit older mum. She had her daughter in her late 30s, mid 30s. Yeah. And I think she saw some of the younger mums, just this baby child was all that mattered. And I think she thought, you know, I'm not going to do that. Because when the child's 18, it's going to be like, bye bye, mum, I love you, I'm going off. It's just like, well, who am I?
I
Yeah.
mean, it's funny because, in our culture also, and me being a mom, when I had my first born, right, it was all about my daughter. My life revolved around Sarah.
Mm,
And, putting the clips on to feeding to just looking at her sleeping in the crib. So it was just her. This is a toy
mm,
I've got, and that's mine, and can't do much. I can do whatever I want with it. So that kind of thing. So
mm,
I do understand, and I know if I look at my culture, right? When we do become mothers, it's all about our kids. The
mm,
husbands take a back seat. They're not important anymore in our life. You've done your job. You've given me kids. I have my own possessions, and I'm going to live with that. And then when these kids grow up, especially for moms with sons, The moms can't let their sons go because now the son wants to be with the wife.
Mm.
And there's the friction now because the mom had no role in her life but being a mom.
Yeah.
She wasn't a wife. She'd
Mm.
forgotten that because her son was her prize,
Mm.
right? So now she can't stop identifying that role.
Yeah.
So that's where toxic in-laws come in. Like you become that toxic mother-in-law because you just can't let go. You're always
Mm.
telling your son, you don't give me time, you don't take me out, you're not coming to, and then you're making your son fight with the wife and all that
Yeah.
stuff. So I get that. I what I'm trying to understand is how do I review not over identifying with the role, but how to make it a healthy balance. Now, only your sister can answer for herself in this space, but I would say every night when my kids go to sleep and it's me time, it's me unwinding. That's where there is no mask, Hamish. If
Mm.
I'm conscious about it, which I'm not,
Mm.
obviously it's on autopilot. But when I'm reflecting, when the lights go down, when my kids are sleeping, my parents are sleeping, it's dark, it's just me, and it's me time, I'm unwinding. That's me.
Mm.
The only thing is that I'm so attuned to stay disconnected and scroll on my phone and think that's my me time that I
Mm.
never actually meet me.
Mm. Yeah.
I don't ask that question. Like now I'm alone, the kids are
Mm.
sleeping. What do I want? What do I need? Who am I really when I don't have those? But at night is when the masks fall down. I'm
Mhm.
not a therapist. I'm nobody in the dark, right?
Mm.
That's why I'm going in the dark also when I'm having that moment.
Yeah.
So in the dark, it's me with me, but I never meet me because
Mm.
I'm too busy scrolling my social media or watching a show or
Mhm.
again getting out of my body and being more not present with
Mm.
me. So
And now
I
you know
think,
why. Now
do
you
I know
know
why I
why.
do that?
Because it was bloody scary, wasn't it? The other night when you met you and you said it was lonely, it was dark. It's scary.
It is because now
It's
what do I do with
horrifying.
me? What
Yeah.
do I do with me? Like, what
Mm.
do I do with me?
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
more because we've been having this conversation for a few days, and this morning I was telling you, I don't know, or maybe last night I was telling you, I don't know if I'm ready for this. I might just because it's too raw for me, right?
Mm.
I need to understand and process this for me. And since then, I'm just talking. I was talking to my friend, I was talking to
Mm.
another person about me, and now it's like I'm processed it enough to understand
Mm.
that it's not that lonely. It's not that
Mm.
scary.
Mm.
It's just meeting me with me. And what's happening now is it was really lonely and dark and scary. And I didn't know what to do with it. And it was a lot of discomfort. I told you there was a lot of discomfort.
Mhm.
But now I'm like, today I was in a space where I met my 7-year-old self. Again lonely, not in dark though, but I was lonely. And I'm
Mm.
in my old house on the terrace, and I'm just playing there. I'm looking at the sky, I'm talking to God and asking me to send me a fairy godmother and stuff like that. So I met that version of me,
Mhm.
and I went to her and I held her and I said, you're not alone. And I literally felt, Hamish, it was so real that me in the now in my 40s, I was looking at my own self as a 7-year.
Mhm.
Literally, I was looking into that soul of my younger self, and the feelings that we both were identifying with was the child me was saying, "I'm so lonely," and the adult me who's right now here was saying the same thing. Yeah, I
Mm.
know, I'm still lonely too. And I met myself and I held myself. And I didn't know what was going on. I was like, this is not getting any better. We still know me, like, what's going
Mm.
on here? But you don't realize when you have those moments what's going on. I didn't have like 2-3 hours ago. I didn't know. I was like terrified because I was like, shit. I'm in my 40s and I'm still feeling the same I was feeling in seven. Nothing's really changed for me. I'm so miserable. Shit, right? But
Mm.
now, when I'm sharing it with you, it's a total different feeling. I'm happy, I'm joyful, I'm feeling liberated, like I'm feeling that freedom, and it isn't feeling that lonely anymore. So, like you said, maybe I'm meeting with a part of me, and maybe there are many parts I will meet from this uh, way moving forward. Whew, that's a lot.
What, why not? Why not? Why not? I'm saying going back to shamanism, that is such a huge part of the shamanic practice. But not only that, my therapist found bits of me and brought them back. We did some sessions, and the same kind of thing. It was looking from the other way around. We were looking for it. We were looking for why I did certain patterns.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah. We go
and
back to our childhood, and that we
yeah,
get
yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And you said you found that your 7-year-old self. There was a piece of Hamish in a tunnel between my village and the woods, which we used to walk through. And
Okay.
he was sitting in there, and he'd been there a long time. And I'd seen him and said, "Will you come back?" And he said, "No." Okay. And then eventually he said, "Once you stop abandoning yourself, once you stop people pleasing," it's like, "Oh crap, that's going to be difficult." Because I used to be very good at people pleasing. Um,
Mm,
and something happened. I made a decision not to people please. I made a decision not to do something.
mm,
And it's almost like tap, 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 I'm coming back. So I can't remember how old he was, doesn't really matter. But he came back because I stopped abandoning myself.
mm. Okay.
So your way, you found yourself a different route to realizing you had been abandoning yourself. And then the 7-year-old said, "Hi, I want to come back."
Mm,
And that part of Hamish coming back made me stronger. I don't abandon myself in the same way. So I'm going to guess that piece of that 7-year-old that came back who felt so lonely, you're going to take her back. And maybe every now and again you'll remember, you get that tinge of I'm lonely or this. And then you go, I've got her. And then just give yourself a big hug because you are bringing her back into you, into your soul, into your body. And you're bringing a piece of you back. And she's going to give you her strength and you're going to give her your love and you're becoming whole again. And
I think what I'm getting from what you're saying is, and correct me if that's where you're heading towards, is, but for me, when you're saying that, what's coming up for me is when I was a 7-year-old child and I felt lonely and I felt alone,
mm,
I forgot that even in that, I had me.
yeah,
I forgot I was there. At least
yeah,
I was there for me, right?
mhm,
So when I
yeah,
was lonely and alone, it felt there was nothing there. Like I couldn't feel myself there. But
mm,
now in my adulthood and in my adult self,
mm,
when I'm meeting my younger self, the only gap that I'm feeling is, yeah, there are no people there, but you have you. And you need to know that,
mm,
which we don't. I think that's
mm,
what we forget when we're going through life. Because
mm,
Hamish, in the end of the day, you and I both know we have to do the work ourselves
yeah,
for ourselves, right? So if I'm hurting, I have to step up and say, I need help, right? If I don't say that, I won't get there, right?
yeah, yeah. And that's a
So,
choice you're making.
yeah. So
Mm,
I think that when who am I is basically telling me to realize that when you were young and you didn't have the language and you kept on thinking you're lonely, you're alone, you're lonely, you're alone,
mm,
you were telling yourself again and again that even you're not there for you. You've abandoned yourself too because people have abandoned you.
mm,
So there's nobody for you. But now, when I'm meeting me in those versions, I am reclaiming that narrative and telling myself that, yeah, there is nobody here. It's still you versus you, but at least you have you. I don't
mm.
know if that makes sense though.
I think it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah?
Yeah, because let me reflect it back to you. What you said in those in those times when you were younger, you felt lonely and you hadn't got the capacity to realize you had yourself too. play, to run, to read a book, to do this or that or the other, because you didn't. Doesn't matter how we. It was a long
Yeah.
time ago, and
Yeah.
that's what happened. And now you are able to sit there and go, I have got me, and this little bit of you is going, can I come back? Because
Mm.
you abandoned me because of whatever. However anybody wants to work it out for themselves, whatever language you want to use. You know, that bit of you is, you're seeing her, as you said, you've
Mm.
seen her, and she's coming up and says, you know, I'm lonely as well, and you're going, oh, come here, I've got you. You
Mm.
know, you're not lonely now. I've got you. I've got me. I've got you. And I think it's really beautiful.
Yeah.
I think it's really beautiful because, I mean, you said it was dark, and then today it was light. And, you know, the conversation from when we started this a couple of days ago, so much has changed. You've made sense of it, you've processed it, and it's, yeah, you know.
I feel like a bit better about it.
Back
but you know,
now.
but you know what?
Mm,
This is one part of it, right? But
mm,
there is this other story as well, right? Where I said that when I meet my 7-year-old self and the adult
mm,
self, they're saying the same thing, right?
mm,
I'm alone, I'm lonely, and the adult self is saying, yeah, I'm alone and lonely too.
mm,
Though I'm meeting myself and not self-abandoning myself anymore,
mm,
so I'm holding myself. But then there's another voice, Hamish, that's coming, and
mm,
that's like, I may be holding my own hand, right? But I have to hold myself through life alone. That girl
mm,
was abandoned by herself as well, while
mm,
people abandoned her, right?
yeah.
Now, she's not abandoning herself. She's choosing to tell herself, you have you, which is great, right?
Mm,
But the other side is she still is lonely. And she is questioning and asking God, I found me in those bits and pieces, but the emotion is still there.
mm,
That language is still there. The texture is still there. I'm lonely. The word is still there. So, God, have you abandoned me? Because if you hadn't, then meeting me would have meant something. But it is meaning something, but it's still, there is still a void there. Like I have to go through life still alone. That time I was not aware I was going through life alone because I was a
mm,
kid. So there was no me and there was no nobody, right? If you take it like that.
mm,
And now what I'm doing is I was so lonely. I'm so lonely. I'm carrying everything. I'm carrying this, blah, 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 right? And now I already had this much of weight that I was carrying. That's why I was feeling lonely. And
mm.
now I met my younger self. Now I have to learn to carry her also. So
She's
though
also
it may be,
carrying you. Maybe she's carrying you. Maybe she's another muscle. Maybe she's
yeah,
another muscle to help you carry it.
you think
May-
so?
Maybe she's sharing the load. Ask her.
Hmm.
Ask her. See what she says.
She just says you're alone. You gotta deal with your shit. Get your act together, Mavish.
Absolutely. Come on. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I mean, okay. How many days ago did you meet her? I mean, was it years ago or was it hours ago?
I mean, it's just been a few days ago, right?
Mm,
It's
yeah.
dark, it's lonely. That's the
Mm,
process. It's dark, it's lonely, it's liberating,
mm,
it's freedom, it's lonely freedom. And I
yeah.
didn't have the language, what was happening. And I
Mm,
was saying, oh my God, I think I'm meeting me for the first time, or I'm meeting my soul for the first time, right? And
mm,
now I'm not a mom and all the things that we've just talked earlier, right?
yeah.
But now, today, I had that moment where I met this version of me.
Mm,
I didn't ask for it. It just happened, right? I just was
mm,
like thinking about it and I went back to that girl I was when I was 7 on my terrace, walking alone, looking at the sky, talking to God, like, send me my fairy godmother. So
Mm,
basically, I'm asking God to interject. I don't want to carry it alone. Send somebody for me.
mm,
That's how I translate it, right? For myself,
mm,
right? And then now I see myself standing on the terrace, this version of me, looking at me, and then going and hugging my own self and saying, "You're not alone." And then we're looking at each other, and that moment where we both sing to each other, but we're still lonely. So now I'm looking back at the sky, the younger self of me and the
mm,
older self of me, and saying to God, "Are you sending someone?" It's the same dialogue. It's just a different way of looking at it because we've become adults, right? So we become more mature to carry it. As a kid, I couldn't carry my own weight as well.
mm,
I didn't know because I wasn't that emotionally regulated, right? So now I can, it's not that I can't carry myself. It's not that it's not liberating and freeing because I can hold me also. I can tell all those versions that were abandoned that you're not abandoned. You had yourself, right?
mm,
But once I do that, once I reclaim all those versions, I may reclaim me. But then she's still turning out in the sky and saying to God, "Are you sending someone?"
mm. He's sending. Hamish is trying not to speak for God here, so let's just.
No, Hamish, you you said something really beautiful when I said that on text to you, and you said that, "Oh, that's good. God is telling you finally come sit at the table with me." It was such a profound thing what you
Mm,
said in that, and I really thought maybe God is killing all the noise around me of everyone, even my labels as a mother, as a daughter. And now when all the noise are shut, I meet me with me, and I'm not happy, and now I'm with God. It's just me and God on that table, right? So it's me sitting on that table and saying to God, "Okay, who are you sending for me?"
mm,
So basically, God is telling me that I've taken away all the distractions. Now let's talk.
mm.
I don't know where that talk is going to go because I'm telling God to send me someone.
But he's
But, you know,
he's sending you you. He's sending you parts of you to make you complete.
yeah, you think so? That's what's going on?
I to me it feels like that every time I've met a piece of me and they've come back, I've changed
Mm,
every
same.
single time. So so let's play with that. I no longer there's certain phrases I no longer say. Um, I can't even remember. See, this is the thing. Though the narrative has changed, certain narratives have changed. I used to
Yeah.
say my default was freeze. I don't
Yeah.
say that anymore. This has been a real decision recently. Say I don't freeze. That's my old story. So as I'm changing, I'm having to drop those stories. I mean, you told me right at the beginning of this conversation you're not alone.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so
Absolutely.
Mavish now knows she's not alone. You keep on saying, but I am. That's the old story. So you've got the old story going, no, 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 I'm alone, I'm alone, I'm alone, bollocks.
Mm,
And you know you're not. I
mm,
know what you're asking from God. Absolutely know that. We'll,
yeah.
we'll get to that. But
Yeah.
you are being filled up with little bits of you that got abandoned every time you were told to do something you didn't want to and you did it. Little piece of you abandoned. At one stage I just saw little Hamishes going on for infinity. And
Yeah.
I just started to collect them all in. And
Yeah.
I am changing because of that.
Yeah.
And I would say you're doing the same thing. And if this happened 2 days ago, give it another few days or a week. You know, you are changing. I mean,
Yeah,
you are
absolutely.
changing.
I've done
Mm,
that version before. We've talked about
mm,
it in our personal
yeah.
space where I reclaimed myself, where I
Mm,
reclaimed my voice as a
mm,
kid. And in that moment, it felt nothing. It felt pretty like empty. Nothing is happening. But then after a few days or a few weeks, I did have that energy shift or that
mm,
mindset
yeah. Yeah.
shift and stuff like that. So yeah, that does make sense. But maybe I'm not getting my message through what I'm trying to say. But maybe you're also right. Maybe it is the old version of me. It is that younger self that made me save myself. again and again and again. You're alone, you're alone, you're alone, you're alone.
Mm.
That even when I'm not alone, I'm still believing that I'm alone. Hey, girl.
You've done it. You've just graduated. Yep.
Yay.
Now the
Where's my prize? Come on, give it to me. Come on.
I got to say you're still alive. Yes, you are still alive. You're still moving. So yeah,
Yeah.
so you've got more to learn. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you've nailed something. I think. I mean, this is why I love chatting with you because we just give each other insights and we just talk and ideas bounce off and it's lovely.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, you are finding more about yourself. These little bits are bringing back nuggets of information and that story is no longer true because you've got three more of you back, five more of you back. You're not alone. Okay, we're playing with metaphors and words and stuff,
Yeah.
but you cannot honestly say you're alone because you've got family, you've got me, you've got friends, you've got people. I know again what you're after. You're looking for somebody. I'm looking for somebody. That might be happening with me. Um, but you're changing every day. You're a different version of you, and
Yeah.
the noise is changing. Let go of that old story. You're not alone. Yes, you're looking. Big difference. Big difference.
Yeah. Hamish, does being alone and being or feeling lonely is the
Hmm.
same thing?
No,
No, right? I just
I
got
don't think
confused for
so.
a minute.
Yeah,
So,
I.
like, I could be in a crowd
Yeah,
and still
and
feel lonely, and I could
yeah,
be alone and not feel lonely.
yeah, yeah. Well, you can answer that question. How did you feel when you were with your husband?
Oh,
Okay.
miserable.
Well, yes. Did you feel lonely or alone?
Oh my God. I can't even define that
Yeah,
loneliness. It was
yeah.
so
There we are.
horrible.
Mm. So yeah, so there you are. Physically, you were, I not
So
say
close,
close,
but
near
yeah.
somebody, but emotionally, you were completely lonely. Yeah,
Hmm. So
completely alone.
maybe like you're saying that, yeah, we're looking for somebody in that, maybe it's just that one part of me that is still feeling empty, but the other parts are getting filled because I'm coming back to me. Ooh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
Does
Good.
that make
Yeah,
sense?
I think so, and I think I my sense is when I meet somebody and I am not feeling lonely, I'm not feeling, and I'm not necessarily confident in myself, but I'm feeling in a better place. I'm not feeling desperate. I'm not feeling I need somebody to complete me. All that
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah, obviously.
Um,
Yeah,
that's not attractive
yeah,
in any way, sense, or form.
yeah,
Um, I can't. I do not want a partner to complete me. Absolutely not. I'm not in my
absolutely.
20s.
Yeah.
So I don't want that. So I have to be more whole myself. And I think that's what you're doing. These bits of you are coming back and filling you up. And once you get to here, you're going to be like, okay, maybe once you get to here, something will change. And why not? Might take a few more
Yeah,
days.
that
Mhm.
really makes sense, Hamish, because in all of these years, being in this space, being a therapist, taking therapy, doing self-development, having conversations with you, we've always wanted to understand why we attract the same kind of people or why we end up with the same
Mm,
results, right? So maybe that loneliness of not having somebody is still empty because unless we don't reclaim every part of us and feel that completeness,
mm,
we won't show up differently. We might just show up being again the one who identifies with the other person again too much,
mm,
or is like, oh, I need this person to complete me, or whatever story we played in the past where we attracted toxic people.
mm,
So I guess what I can get finally find my answer today after a week of going through this is that part where I'm feeling lonely because there is no partnership, I guess, makes everything become lonely
mhm,
for a minute, right? What God is trying to do through his miraculous work is that he's telling me that we're going to keep this lonely and empty, but we're going to work on you and bring all of your parts back to you. Because once those are back here, and you know, and I know, when we've done those parts, when we've done those versions, we did show up differently. There was an upgrade in us.
Mm.
So
Yeah.
once I do that, whether I do it all together, whether how much time it takes, like you said, once the part is there, I'll show up differently.
You will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
I'll bring in a different energy, not
Ah,
the same, even when it's here or here. So when it's here, it's going to be a different level.
yeah. And change your language, because I mean, in English,
Yeah.
spells you write words, spelling, and
Yeah.
spells is magic. So
Yeah.
spells, words are power, and I guess it's the same in your language. Words are
Mm-hmm.
powerful. You know, you can make your daughter laugh with a word. You can make her cry with a word. Words
Yeah.
are powerful. So
Absolutely.
when when you change that phraseology from "I'm lonely" to not "I'm lonely,"
Yeah, I'm
when you
doing
when you
that. Yeah.
start
Yeah.
getting rid of changing your language, things change.
Mm.
Your energy changes. You stop attracting the same person just in a different skin. You
Yeah.
stop attracting the same job just from a different building. You, as you said, your energy is here, and what you're attracting is a different level. So you'll get totally different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
Mm.
Hamish, I've spoken so much. I've shared so much. What have you got from all of this?
I've loved this conversation. I've been able to talk about my passion. I've been able to talk about the shamanism and this whole concept of self and finding yourself, and the whole bit where you said you saw a bit of yourself, and that is exquisite. One thing I wanted to say though is, um oh God, give me patience. God doesn't give you patience. He puts you in situations to become patient.
I
um
know that.
yeah, yeah, we do know that, and it's tedious, really, really
Okay.
tedious.
Oh.
And it's just like, come on, yeah, give me patience, but hurry. It's that. It's almost like we have to do the hard work before we get what we shit. It is. We have to do the hard work before we get what we want. Um, you're looking for a partner. You need to be peaceful in yourself. Let's say, for example, that's what it requires, because you could settle. You could settle for some asshole tomorrow.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and you don't want to.
Yeah.
Um, and so maybe there's that tension. You know what you want, and in order to get what you want, you've got to
Upgrade
not.
something within yourself.
I think that's the best way I could say it. I could say change for somebody else, but that sounds wrong. But that's not what I mean. But you've
Yeah.
described it. Yeah, you want to feel stronger in yourself, more whole in yourself. Yeah.
I hate the word strong. I hate it.
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
and and I really wanted to say this because you said something, two things. One was the words, right? Very important.
Yeah.
And then you praying to God for patience. Very important. I would say watch what you ask God. Okay. When I was young, Hamish, I prayed for two things when I was young in my 20s. God, give me patience. God, make me strong. God said, okay, you asked for it. Here we go. Boom. There you go. And I went through life's biggest storms of my life, right?
Yeah.
And then after years and years, and this is a few years ago, I watched this video, right, of a scholar, and they said, stop praying to God to give me patience, right? Like, stop. Because every time you're asking, God is going to give you something to be patient about. So
Hmm.
be mindful of how you ask God, right? And I was like, damn, that hit home. Like, yes, I don't want that. And then that person said that pray to God that make me a person of gratitude. Like change the way you talk to God, change what you ask. Say, God, I want to become a person of gratitude. Gratitude. Who is a person of gratitude, Hamish? Person who has what they want. And I was like, okay, I'm never praying I want to be strong. I passed that test. I nailed it.
You did.
I'm not talking about being patient because,
Mm,
like, dude, I did
mm,
PhD in that. So I'm very conscious about
mm,
what ask God every time.
mm,
I like, okay, I'm really, when I do my prayer, I'm like, okay, maybe she was saying this. Are you sure? Just really think. I was like, okay, no, 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 God, not like that. I want to be grateful. Like, I want to be really grateful. Like,
mm.
So I just wanted to share that with you. Like, no more patience, please. No more. Not going there.
I love that. Yeah. Oh God, give me strength. Right. Okay. Give me
Mm.
courage. Okay. Yeah. In order to get those things, I've got to work hard and suffer. Yeah. Mm.
Hamish, you have a question there. Why don't you answer that?
Okay.
On
What's
the
the question?
screen. What is our purpose? Why we sent in this world?
What is our
Ooh,
purpose? That is
it's
such
our
a
job to
lovely
find what is
question.
our person, right?
Mm,
Don't you think it's our
What is our
job to
purpose?
find our purpose?
Yeah, I
But I
think
think our
so.
purpose is just to exist.
I think that I'm going to say more than that. I think our purpose is to experience. I think
Mm.
exist is like surviving. We don't need to do that anymore. I think it's to thrive,
Yeah,
and I think it's to
absolutely.
experience.
Yeah.
And we can't just experience joy and happiness because we're human, and family members die, and we fall in love, and we crash cars, and jobs come and go. So I think we're here to experience.
Yeah.
And purpose, you can find your purpose when you sit really quietly. You get a sense of it. You get a sense of what lights you up, what really, really you want to do, but you don't. It's not a want to do it; it's a desire to do it. I
Yeah.
want to be rich. No, I don't. I really don't want £10 million. I'd much rather be happy. I'd much rather be peaceful. I'd much rather go to bed with a full tummy and be grateful.
Yeah.
Yes, I could buy all that with money, but she would go home in the morning with £500 in her wallet, and I'd be lonely again. So
Mm.
that's not going to work.
Mm.
So I think you can find your purpose. What are they saying? I would like to share too. Why yeah.
Why we send in this world? It's that's for us to. I guess why we send in this world is to find that answer for ourselves.
Mhm.
Nobody can
Yeah.
answer that. I feel.
Mhm.
I mean, for you it would be different. For me it would be
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
I think God has a purpose for all of us, and we
Mhm.
have to find that purpose. We have to find that reason, and we have to live through that reason. I think if we don't have purpose in life, life would be so meaningless.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think we can choose it. I can't see who wrote that. Why don't you type in share with us why you think you're here in the world? That would be really lovely to find out. I mean, I've worked with one lad, and he was abused, and he had a terrible life, and he's a full-time addict. He's
Oh,
happy. He says, my role in life is to never allow my children to experience what I did.
okay.
So he's drawn a line in the sand. He was sexually abused, he was beaten, he was hurt
Mm.
by family members, and he's drawn a line in the sand and said, my children will never experience that.
Cycle
He's a
breaker.
cycle breaker.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Some people's roles are to be the most perfect mother for their children.
Mm.
Some people's roles are to save the world. Some
Yeah.
people's decisions are tiny,
Mm.
no more, no less significant. Um, I've had friends who I went to school with. They have not left the town where they grew up.
Wow.
They're happy, bringing
Yeah.
up children, doing this, doing that. Um, can you read
Yeah.
that?
It says hate is the biggest diseases. I
Mm,
am really sorry. English is not my mother tongue, but I understand both of you.
mhm,
Hate is the biggest disease, he says, or she says, or
mm.
they say, I guess.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. It's
Yeah.
so destructive, hate. It causes so much hurt.
Yeah.
Mm.
Makes sense. Anyway, Hamish, thank you so much for coming forward, having this conversation with me. It was enlightening for me. I don't know how it was for you, but it was certainly enlightening for me. I'm so grateful for you and for this space that we share and for all the conversations we have. And yeah, I will see you soon.
You will. Well, thank you. I've really enjoyed it. They've carried on with a bit more of the message, so read that in a second. But
Okay.
I've loved this
Yeah,
conversation. Yeah,
yeah.
go for it.
My experience is different. We are here to know ourselves, to love human, to help human, to love ourselves first and forgive everyone from our heart. Yeah.
I think that's
Go.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Mm,
Go for it.
yeah, I
Yeah.
think that is really beautiful because yeah,
My
love
name
from
is
your
not
heart.
Sana. My name is Mavish, by the way. You keep calling me Sana. I don't know who Sana is. But yeah,
Mm.
it's Mavish.
Mhm.
Yeah, Hamish, you were saying something and then we'll wrap it up.
Yeah, no, I think I've really enjoyed this conversation, and I think this whole idea of identity is dangerous. If you
Yeah.
fall into that if you over-identify with something, as you
Yeah,
said,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's it's really difficult to get out of, and I think it requires that discernment and awareness and having a purpose, finding a reason to be. Then you're not going to get stuck in I have to be this, I am this from fear, and I
Yeah.
think out you climb. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I
I
think this
do.
has been a lovely conversation.
Yeah. Well, thank
Mm.
you. I'm
Mm.
sending you so much good prayers and goodness and all the good things in life. But I'll
Thank
see
you.
you soon.
And I'm going to ask God for gratitude as well. Certainly not for strength. Never, ever, ever again.
Yo, yes, yes, yes. Good. All right,
Brilliant.
Hamish. Bye. Thank
Good
you.
night. Bye bye.
Bye bye.